Hello guys, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 16, that is Forensic Accounting. So let's see the objectives of this chapter. After going through this unit, you would be able to understand the dynamic of fraud, understand the concept of fraud triangle, and identify the potential fraud which can occur in various accounting cycle, classify the various fraud, understand various forensic audit techniques. And structure of this unit are: introduction is there, an overview of fraud is there, fraud triangle, major corporate frauds, application of forensic accounting, type of fraud, fraud origin and accounting cycle, fraudulent financial reporting schemes, improper revenue recognition, other financial reporting schemes, IT tools for fraud direct detection and method of fraud detection, and forensic audit techniques. Summary is there, self assessment questions also there. So let's begin with the introduction part. The growth and development of accounting are linked to the growth and development of trade and commerce. A few centuries back, most of the trade and commerce were carried out by individuals with their own money and resource. As the volume of trade and commerce grew, there was a requirement for increased resources, both human resources and finance, that is capital. The proprietorship form of business gave way to partnership firms, which further transformed themselves into joint stock companies. In contrast to proprietorship and partnership firm, and companies delegate the responsibility of running the business to managers with considerable autonomy to take transactional and strategic decision. The overall supervision is done by the board of directors. This delegation of authority creates an agency cost problem. Agency cost is the internal cost arising from conflict of interest between the principal, that is shareholders, and the agents, that is managers. It is hidden in the action of managers, executives, which are not aimed at maximizing the company's profit, but rather enriching themselves at the cost of the company's asset. And one distinctive feature of companies is that the funds invested in companies belong to a large number of people and financial institutions. Since the interest of a large number of people is tied to the company, it is but natural that the information provided by the companies is true and fair and reflective of the actual state of affairs. And now let us briefly explain the concept of forensic accounting. Forensic accounting is a multidisciplinary activity involving accounting, auditing, computer forensic, investigation, and law. It involves gathering information and evidence which can withstand the scrutiny of a court of law. The scope of this unit is limited to the frauds committed in a corporate setting. Let us understand the meaning of occupational fraud. Occupational frauds are those in which an employee, managers, promoters, or owners of an organization commits fraud determinant to the organization. And next is an overview of frauds. In order to get a general understanding of fraud, let us have a look at the finding of the report to the nation 2020, published by the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. In this study, they examined 2,504 fraud cases from 125 countries. These fraud cases had caused a total loss of more than $3.6 billion. A typical fraud case lasts for 14 months before being detected and caused a loss of 8,300 per month dollar, and it is estimated that organization lost 5% of revenue to fraud each year, and with a median loss of 1,25,000 per cases and average loss of the 15 1 lakh 5 509,000 per cases. Okay, so these are the calculations for the fraud cases. You just read it in this section. And next is fraud triangle. In this context of forensic auditing, it would be worthwhile to discuss the concept of fraud triangle. This concept identifies three categories factors of risk that are present in the organization. These factors can potentially lead to fraud, or when a fraud occurs, these factors are present in the organization. These are incentives and pressure that is needed, and opportunity, rationalization, and attitude. So this is a triangle shape. There is an opportunity in downward, and the two sides of triangle is incentive or pressure, and rationalization or attitude. And incentives and pressure. Management and employee are often put under pressure or offered incentives to achieve certain milestones, which can be financial, operation related to sales, cost, etc. These targets can be realistic or unrealistic. The problem arises when unrealistic targets are tied to remuneration and advancement opportunities. The risk factor that may lead to fraud by companies are situations that may threaten the financial stability or profitability of the company, pressure on management to meet the expectation of other stakeholders, especially that of investors and financial institutions, threat to the personal wealth of top management and promoters as a result of the performance, pressure on divisional managers by seniors managers or board of directors, an effort to maintain existing debt rating or move to higher debt rating in order to raise more finance, and inability to meet debt covenants or fulfill condition in merger or acquisition agreements. Incentives and pressure can come in a variety of ways. Seen in the context of variable pay structure, where a large portion of remuneration is based on achievement of performance targets, there will be an incentive for employees and senior managers to mistake achievements if the target performance is not achieved. And with reference to the risk of material misstatement due to misappropriation of asset, the risk factors are personal financial problems, greed, dishonesty, no fear of being caught or punished may lead employees to commit fraud. Adverse relationship with the senior employee, dissatisfaction with organizations and organizational policies, or a vengeful attitude might create a feeling of resentment and disloyalty, which may lead to fraudulent activities. Next is opportunity. It is generally assumed that people are honest, but circumstances may exist or be created that may push employee or management to commit fraud. An opportunity must not exist to commit fraud, and this opportunity may come in the form of ineffective internal control, lack of supervision, non segregation of duties, etc. And various risk factors that are indicative of opportunity that could lead to fraud are nature of industry in which company operates and nature of business transaction and the manner in which they are recorded and the degree of dominance company enjoy over a supplier and customers. A high degree of dominance may create the opportunity for inappropriate or non-arm's length transaction. Degree of subjectivity involved the higher and the subjectivity involved greater the opportunity for the deliberate manipulation. And rationalization and attitude. The prosperity to commit fraud by individual is a function of ethical value and personal circumstances. The external environment also plays a role in shaping attitude, especially during hard time. Management attitude towards fraud tolerance also shapes individual attitudes towards fraud, and rationalization and attitude are intangible factors and by nature are difficult to observe and ascertain. Rationalization and attitude is a product of the culture of an organization and the psychology of those who work in it. And risk factors in this category are lack of clarity about corporate ethical values. Fraud risk is taken lightly and occurrence deals effectively by the management, and budgeting and forecasting with large variance. Management justifies inappropriate accounting and disclosure policies, non cordial relationship with the auditors. Most of the frauds being on a smaller scale and grow in proportion over time. The typical rationalization arguments advanced by fraud operators preparators are it is just temporary and the manipulated entry would be reversed in the next quarter. There would be no material impact on the yearly result. And management is indifferent towards fraud and it does not seriously monitor internal control nor it is proactive in correction, non lacuna in internal control, and management is hand in glove and expect and rewards this kind of behavior. I deserve a better position and remuneration than offered by the company. And the forensic audit shall try to find out whether such a basis exist, and if such basis exists then the company is a fit case for the occurrence of potential fraud. Next is major corporation fraud. In major corporate frauds, there is Satyam Computer was one of the leading information technology companies of India. The promoters of the company devised ingenious way to defraud the company and siphon off a large amount of money to the turn of $1 billion. And Kingfisher Airlines, so you just go through it. These are the examples. And Jet Airways and Bhushan Steel and PNB fraud is there, ILFS fraud is there. Maybe you just go through the before news also these kind of frauds. And Waste Management Inc. there is also, and Enron Corporation scandal, that is on 2001, and WorldCom is the 2002. So these are the cases for the fraud in corporate sector. Okay, so you just go through your Ignou material also, unit 16 MMPC 004. In between any doubts, you just contact us. And next portion of this unit we will continue on next video. And for more videos of MBA Ignou, MMPC 004 and other subjects, you just follow us, and do like, share and subscribe our channel also. Thank you for your support.
i-tutor ES presents Ignou Mba, complete syllabus coverage classes and individual semester base, subject coverage program for MBA students online and flexible sessions. For more details, contact 62382 17885.